Rhode Island's favorite realtor. Let's dive right in. Rhode Island statewide down payment grant. Okay, so this video is to kind of explain how it affects us, right? Like, it all sounds nice and sweet, but does it really work? Does this program really work? So let's see how it works. Okay, $17,500. It's a grant. Right? So this grant, you does not need to be repaid, right? It says it right here. Does not need to be repaid. Funding is subject to availability. So meaning first come, first serve. So get your offers in, get under contract right away, right? I'm not trying to force you or scare you into anything. I'm just trying to speak to you the severity of this program, right? And there's no end date. It's first come, first serve, right? So eligibility, be a first-time home buyer purchasing a 1 to 4 family home or condominium in Rhode Island. If you have not owned a home in the last 3 years, you can qualify for this. Have a minimum of a credit score of 660. So get that right, guys. Meet RI housing income limits. Income limits is $120,000 for a 1 to 2 person household, or $139,074 for a 3 or more person household, right? So if you meet those requirements, right, if you're a little confused, then you can reach out to me and we'll figure this out together. But that is pretty straightforward. Complete a home buyer education course. Right? You can do a free one online, right? If you're on their time, right, they'll be like, all right, if you're on our time, we can do this for free, right? If you kind of need to be on your time, you're gonna have to pay for it, right? Online on demand classes. If you click here, it doesn't tell you exactly. Oh, actually, there's a one-time fee right here, $50. There it is, $50 right there, one time. And then you get that. Okay, so that's a solid investment, right? So now I want to show you the real life example as to how this can actually affect you, right? How does this apply? How does this save me money? So let me show you. Okay, so boom, this is the kind of step one of your total out-of-pocket expenses, right? So example of your out-of-pocket, expenses, right? So general home inspection, usually about between $400 to $800, right? And then you also have your appraisal, $500 to $875, right? That's when you pay the bank. Someone goes out, take a look at the home, see what it's valued at, and then any other inspections that you decide to do, right? Radon, lead, termites, etc., right? So this is kind of like your couple $100 when it comes to buying a house. Inspection, appraisal, any other inspections that you decide to do. All right. Next page. Boom, total biggest expenses out of pocket, right? So you are going to have your down payment and your closing costs, right? So these are your biggest out of pocket expenses, right? So your down payment is going to be 3.5% of the purchase price, right? Especially with this program, first time home buyer, there's a good chance you're going to go with an FHA loan. So with an FHA ticket, right? That's what I like to say. If you got your FHA ticket, you can put 3.5% down. So the example we're going to put here is a $500,000 house, 3.5% down. That puts us at $17,500 out of pocket. Remember, this is out of pocket. Closing costs, right? A good guesstimate is about 2.5% of the purchase price, right? So give or take, right? It could be a little more, it could be a little less, but there, here with this example, $500,000 home, 2.5% of the closing cost is going to be about $12,500. On to the next one. Boom. Okay, so right, all we're gonna do now is pretty much add everything up, right? So here we have your down payment, right, and your closing costs, right? Adding those two up, your out-of-pocket expenses to buy a house is gonna be $30,000. These are from your big two, right? Your down payment, closing costs, right? $30,000 out of pocket. It is what it is. This is what you need to have. But being that we have the Rhode Island Housing down payment assistance grant, that's going to take off $17,500 from our $30,000 out of pocket expenses, right? So now we're only looking at pretty much this here, $12,500 total out of pocket expenses. Not too shabby, right? Not a bad deal. That program helps out a lot. But one other thing, right? One other thing that I do want to throw in, since you stayed for the whole video, is a bonus tip. The bonus tip is that if we can get $10,000 from the seller of the house, that brings our total from $12,500, $10,000 from the seller. So this is kind of the negotiations part, right? It might happen, it might not happen. We can get more, we can get less, right? But overall, I don't want you to depend on this. But, right, it's not out of the ordinary, right? A lot of my deals, sellers do pay for the closing costs. At the end of the day, it's like you don't have to pay this as a seller. But, you know, if you're going to have a pretty big payday and all you got to do is pay some closing costs, sure, why not, right? But again, that doesn't happen all the time, but it's not out of the ordinary. So that brings you down to $2,500 could be the final cost of the two biggest out-of-pocket expenses. So remember, guys, it goes from this $30,000 right there, $30,000 out-of-pocket expense with the RI housing helping brings it down to $12,000. If we can get seller concessions, right, negotiate the seller to pay $10,000 of our closing costs, that's gonna bring our $30,000 cost all the way down to $2,500. Guys, this program is dope. I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood how this applies, okay? And if for whatever reason, you know, like if this just still isn't making sense to you, let me know, right? We can get up and talk and I can elaborate on this a little more, but I just wanted to do my part when it comes to explaining how this program can really help. Rhode Island's favorite realtor, if you're looking to buy or sell a house, please let me know. Ooh, you like how I improvised that?